Zidane, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we are going to be talking about, a show that I probably should not actually be discussing on this channel. So, real quick, for anyone who is under the ages of 18, I don't actually suggest watching this show. I just have to say that because it's not, technically this show is rated TV 14, but honestly, it's closer to TVMA than pretty much any other anime that I've talked about on this show. Um, so yeah, just be aware of that if you are actually getting into this show. Also, if your parents are a bit strict, also kind of avoid this show because yeah, it's not really a great show. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, "Oh, this is disgusting, blah blah blah, this that and the other thing." No. The reason that I like this show is because of the character development that is within this show. Honestly, I would put the main character of Jobless Reincarnation as being on the level of Endeavor's changes. So, yes, obviously the show that we're talking about is Jobless Reincarnation, which, honestly, you may see, like, the different trailers and stuff and be like, oh, that looks so cool. But, yeah, it's, compared to other shows, this has a lot more talk about sex and stuff like that. And while there's no real cursing in it, honestly, if it was once it gets dubbed over here in America, I actually wouldn't be surprised if it does have a lot of cursing and becomes TVMA because yeah, some of these characters it makes a lot more sense for them to be cursing than not. I'm just saying. But yeah, this show is weird, and I think that the one of the reasons why they're worried about it, because that people might get worried about it going to TVMA, is because of the fact that the main freaking character is a child, or at least looks like a child. So first off, let's actually just get things out of the way. The main character obviously gets reincarnated into a new world, but he starts out as like a 40-year-old shut-in who has been stuck inside his own home for years. And after someone in his family dies, the rest of his family starts to get pissed at him and kicks him out of the house because he wasn't at the funeral and such. Instead, he was watching anime, jacking off, all these things, and pretty much being a garbage human being. He's not likable. Let's put it at that. But while he's doing all, after he gets kicked out, he's walking along the streets when suddenly he sees a truck that is out of control, and basically instinctually, he runs out in order to save these two girls that are just so happen to be in the middle of the road. Luckily, he saves them, but in return, he dies, and the first freaking opening scenes are him dying on the operating table. So, yeah. Now, one of the things to notice is the fact that, like I said, he is an older person who is a shut-in. So, obviously, fatter character. And stuff like that. There's a lot of different things about him that honestly are a bit worrying, but yeah, we find out later that he was bullied basically his entire life, and because of that, that's why he became a recluse shut-in, basically thinking that no one would ever want to see him and all of this stuff, and the only way that he found comfort was in video games and anime and the H word that we're not going to say on this channel or else we'll get demonetized. So, yeah, this video is probably going to get demonetized. Well, I guess I'm not actually monetized, so we're good. But this video might get blocked in certain countries or something. But if it were ever to be monetized, this video will probably never get monetized. I don't know why I said demonetized, but yeah, if we were ever to get monetized, this would be demonetized immediately. But basically, he goes through all of this stuff, and he's just... he wakes up in the new world as a newborn to this adventuring couple who are now living in a town or whatever. Basically, they're just trying to live life now. And yeah, unfortunately, they are very loving people. That's my best way of putting it, because we're not going to say what they're actually doing, but they basically do it right in front of him because they don't think that their kid is going to understand it. And there are a lot of stuff that they talk about in this show, and that happens a lot more than you'd expect. But we eventually see him, obviously as he's young, he starts looking around and starts doing things that most people think, oh, he's just a kid, he's just learning and stuff, when in actuality he's being a bit of a pervert towards their maid and stuff like that. Yes, there are problems, and we're not going to get into all of that right now, but yes, he starts out as probably being one of the most reprehensible people you will ever meet. But the point is that he does get better. Eventually he finds out that he can cast magic, and as such he starts to practice by himself to learn the different spells that are within his mother's spellbook, while also wanting to learn how to read, thanks to his parents, and his parents are just like, oh, cool, we'll teach him how to read and all of this jazz. And they don't think that he can actually read this quickly, but in actuality he's reading at levels that are unbelievable already. And starts to already cast the spells very quickly. Including a frickin' water ball spell, and starts just kind of being a bit of a pest, which is honestly still pretty awesome. Oh boy. Eventually he does actually get, like I said, one of the reasons why I love this show is because of the fact that he gets better. He develops to being a better person overall. Yes, he does still have those bit of perverty behaviors for a little while, and I mean, honestly, it's not that surprising. He has a developing kid mind, but he also has the knowledge that he had when he was an adult. So, yeah, things kind of make sense that he would be a bit, yeah. But after his family figures out that he can actually cast magic, he comes across this teacher who teaches him how to actually cast magic, who is shocked by the fact that he's actually able to cast magic without saying the incantations, which honestly is really interesting to see how that whole works. It's kind of similar to Wise Man's Grandchild to a degree. So yeah. Except for the fact that I actually think that this is better than Wise Man's Grandchild. Which I know that some people are probably going to hate me for that, because at least in Wise Man's Grandchild, he's actually a decent human being. But in this, he's not. Oh, fudge. I am going to get so much hate for liking this show. But, yeah. Eventually, like I said, he learns from this teacher, eventually feeling like he can actually go outside, and he's not going to be bullied because of what he looks like and all of these things. But because of the fact that he was bullied, he's actually able to recognize some of the big issues with it, and saves this kid that was also being bullied just because the fact that they have green hair. And you're probably noticing that I'm saying they, because I don't really want to spoil, well, I guess I will be probably spoiling it, but yeah, there's a twist in there, so I'm not gonna tell you all of that. But he saves that kid, and the two of them become fast friends, and as such, thanks to them becoming closer and closer friends, they actually it helps him to become more and more like a better character. There's a lot of other things that I don't really want to get into, but the point is that he grows as a person, learning from his mistakes that he made when he was a kid, protecting those who are getting bullied because he now is in a better spot than he was before. He can now go outside, and also it's looking like he's going to become less and less of a pervert over the course of the show. And if he does actually keep any of that, it's mostly going to be made for laughs, kind of like Mineta to a certain degree, except for the fact that he's actually better than Mineta, like by a far degree. But yeah, there's a lot to this character, and I don't want to get into everything. The point is that I think that the best way to describe this show is if Mineta got reincarnated into another universe and became a better person and started to lose that sex drive. I know that that's a weird thing to call a show that I really like, and I can't really describe why I like it. So, yes, I do think that some people are absolutely going to love this show, but I also know that there are going to be people who are going to look at me with a really funny look and just be like, why the hell do you like this show? This is so bad. But honestly, I do like it. Honestly, to a certain degree, this is kind of similar to one of the previous shows that I really liked, that being Rising of the Shield Hero, except for the fact that with Rising of the Shield Hero, he was innocent and kind of fell into a lot of the traps because of the fact that he was actually very trusting and stuff like that. And there's a lot of stuff with that. Honestly, seriously, please go and watch Shield Hero as well, because that is also a fantastic show. Both of these shows are really good and really develop a whole bunch of... They develop these characters. One of the biggest issues with a lot of anime nowadays is the fact that characters don't have any actual character traits. They're basically made into these playing characters with no redeeming qualities whatsoever. I mean, freaking Kirito is a blank slate, basically just used as a character for as just so that the audience has someone to relate to. But these shows feel like they're actually about someone who could exist, and I love that. Yes, there are problems. Absolutely. There are going to be problems with every type of show. But the fact is that with a show that actually has good character development, you can fall in love with these shows more and more. Now, I do actually think that this show might go the way of freaking interspecies reviewer, and people don't want to see it. But I do still think that there will be some interesting things, and yes, there are going to be people who are going to be looking at it, and they're just going to be like, no, keep the children away, keep everyone away from this show. This is awful. But I do honestly believe that this show is something that some people should watch, because it really is empowering to people, especially who have been bullied and feel like there's just a lot of problems in the world. Honestly, I think that this is the show for people who have been bullied of any degree, because yes, he has extreme bullies, and they drove him to go into this terrible place. But by if you are someone who was bullied, you can learn from this show and actually grow as a person. And if you are someone like him who doesn't want to go outside, maybe this show is what you need to actually decide, hey, I'm going to go out and actually do something with my life. It's it's a hard thing to do, but I actually think that this show is great. So, yeah. Sure, it's gonna attract a lot of degenerates, but I do think that many people should enjoy this show as much as I have. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think of the show down in the comments below. I know that some of you guys are just gonna be like, why the frell did you do this video and all this stuff? But honestly, I do love this show, and I think that a lot of you guys might as well. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know if I'm just completely off the mark. But yeah, of course, let me know your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. If you are going to leave a theory, make sure to say theory review somewhere in the comment. Of course, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and also please leave a dislike if you hated the video, because I know there's going to be some of you, so please do, because it's going to be hilarious to see the actual number of people who hated this video. And also, of course, please subscribe and ring that notification bell. Most of the time, I don't actually tackle topics this crazy. In fact, most of the time, I'm talking about actual good shows or good manga, like the video that's going to be tomorrow, Final Fantasy Lost Stranger, or also the videos that are going to be appearing on my other two channels, which I don't think I'm going to be linking in this description, but they will be appearing in future descriptions. So yeah, look forward to seeing those cool videos and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, also, before I actually forget, if you do want to support the channel even more, then definitely head down to the description, check out all of our links down there, including our social medias, and ways that you can support us financially, including our Patreon, and our merch store, and of course, our book. But anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!